All right. Hello, everyone. We're taking a look today at the Battle of Arracourt. This is a small scenario for Arracourt Battalion Combat Series. This is the initial setup. The first turn goes to the Germans, first player Germans. First turn weather, you roll normally. Here's what we got. It's September 19th, 1944. The weather roll I got was good with fog. So that's going to reduce my visibility to 1 hex. And for the Allied air points, we got 1 air point with Bazooka Charlie available. Now, there's no counters for that stuff, so I had to improvise a little. I did borrow the air point bomb counter from Valley of Tears. I'm going to use this to represent Bazooka Charlie. The air is kind of... anyone can use the air, so it doesn't really go to this unit, but I'm just going to set it on here so I remember. We'll put it down here for now. Let me move these out of the way. So that's just kind of a reminder. Now, the headquarters for the Germans here, it starts used. So it was going to be iffy, even though the German player is the first player. As this came in used, I had to make a second activation check on this guy. And I'm assuming that's the way you do it. This hex here is a supply hex underneath here. That is a designated supply hex with the G on it. That is not an entry hex, so I don't get the MSU optimal bonus on that snafu. But anyway, I did roll a 6 for the activation, which I did post that screenshot on the YouTube community page, which was amazing, and Facebook. I actually rolled a 6 to activate this guy. Made the activation, rolled horrible on the snafu. Got a partial snafu, so we're not going to be able to do much here. We're looking at... and this HQ is awful. I have 0 artillery points anyway. So we're looking at half movement point allowance. Basically no artillery points anyway. And the reason it was bad is because we're sitting, that snafu roll, we are on tracks. And it's not optimal because this is not an entry hex. So I don't get that, you know, that bonus where if the train is on an entry hex, you get the bonus to the snafu. Didn't get that. That's actually a supply hex. It's not an entry hex, so I didn't count that. And I couldn't find anywhere where it said I do, so I didn't count it. Just going by the rules there. So we're looking at what to do with the 111th Panzer Brigade here. There's 3 objectives in this scenario. All of them have the red hexagon borders, like up here. But in this case, you use the objectives as scenario 4.0. Luneville is not in play, so there's actually just 2 on this map that I can see. So even though I did get the activation, that's great and all. I was going to move down these roads are awful too. I was going to move down the road and try to engage at a distance. I actually wanted to try to force the United States out of Arracourt. But with that bad activation, that snafu roll, I don't think I'm going to be able to reach them. And then I realized the visibility is... I was going to try to engage from 2 hexes out. And I realized the visibility is only down to 1 because of fog. So I don't think I'm going to be able to kick this unit out of here. But here's the CCA headquarters. And they have AV unit here, you know, tank destroyer unit in that town. I thought with all this power down here, I might be able to roll up and engage at a distance and maybe kick them out. But now with the fog and the way that came up, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it because the track movement is a full 1 for the tactical movement allowance. So that's kind of a bummer. And for this, I'll also be doing random chit pull after this. So I don't know which U.S. formation is going to activate. I'm just doing straight up gangster random chit pull. So we'll have to see what happens after that. The reinforcements go by the full game reinforcements. So there are some that come in later. And you kind of flip through the playbook and you'll use scenarios 5.4, 5.5, 5.6. So there's some stuff that does come in later. So this should get interesting kind of fast. But yeah, I was kind of hoping to go down here, engage at a distance, get these guys out of here, take one of the victory. The other one's up here at... in this hex, we have a German static unit. Kind of just sitting up here all by himself. in that hex, but he's about to get heavily leaned on here by the CCB. So that's, I don't know how long that's going to last, but he may be tough to get out of there. We'll have to see. But yeah, the snafu really hurt me here. Just goes to show that no matter, even when I do get a good die roll, I kind of get screwed up. So there's not a lot on the board here at the moment, but I got to do something with this first one to just kind of at least make a move. And oh, one last thing too, it is good to note that there are some step losses on these German units. He's at a 3, and below here, this unit is at a 5. And I pretty much have to keep them on their weaker movement side because I need to get up there. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer. So if I did get up there, they've got, I mean, this unit's not that powerful, but it is a tank destroyer. And he is, it's not, the terrain's not super awesome. I mean, it's not like he's in a city or anything. So maybe I'll give it a shot and see what happens. But I got to move my units and get up there first. So being used to OCS, it's going to be weird not having to have supply trucks to subtract supply tokens from. So I need to get used to that. All right, so decided to move the 16th Battalion of the 111th Panzer Brigade up to just south of Arracourt there. And the reason why I did this, it was 10 movement points to get him up that far. I had to leave him on his movement side, of course. The reason why I did that is because it's going to be a stopping engagement. Because if I want to get the infantry involved in this, open terrain for infantry and truck is 2 movement points. So I'm going to have to take advantage. I'm going to have to leave this open, this spot open to get those guys up there into that hex. Otherwise, they're going to run out of movement points. They won't be able to make it. So, because it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which would just barely allow them to get next to that hex and maybe try to do something should this fail. So this is a stopping engagement. They went off the road here. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not 2 for tactical on the back of the movement chart, which is weird. But the open was brutal for infantry. You can see here, or truck movement. So open for truck is 2. You can see that right there. So I had to readjust this a little bit. But we're going to do our stopping engagement here and try to see what happens. It's not going to be the best. Of course, that's going to take a fire event as well. I did place the objective marker on the victory hex here. We'll see what happens. There's really no other modifiers here because this is a pretty basic combat. It is going to be a -1 total to the roll. We're looking at a 7 total to an 8. I did deploy the tank destroyer. I did deploy the tank destroyer for the Americans on the deployed side. I figured this might happen, but I figured if I was the American player and these guys were in a objective zone, then they would want the best. They wouldn't be deployed in their move side. So this is going to be an engagement table where the target is real AV. It's going to be -1. And we don't have prepared defense. There's no multiple force, no standoff. It's not a double because I screwed up the snafu, and the fire is not limited AV. So I think this is gonna be a straight up -1. So this is kind of where you say, what's the worst that could happen, I guess. All right, let's see what happens. We really need to kick them out of this hex. Ugh. A 5. That's not gonna do it. So the mighty German plan there, I don't think is going to pay off. 5 is fire loss and traffic. All right, well, it was worth a shot, though. Bummer. So I guess now the question becomes, do I want to use the second fire event? We've got traffic. He failed, so he stopped. We also have traffic. He's down to 2 steps. I think I'm going to use the second fire event at the risk of maybe really weakening this unit. Screw it. I'm going to attack again. It's at -1. Same thing. That traffic counter is going to cause a stop in that hex if anyone tries to move up in there. So I guess it's a good thing I actually moved him down. All right, this time we got a 7. All right, that might be a little bit better. Both loss. That does accomplish our goal. It is a both loss, taking the 1/16 down to 1 step, but that is enough to destroy the American unit here. The 704 Tank Destroyer Regiment, or sorry, Company. 704 Tank Destroyer Company is a 1-stepper. So that will take him out of there, which is nice, leaving just the HQ. Now, he is done. That does allow me to do the second part of my idea, which was moving that infantry up there. Maybe we can force that HQ and just jump it out. But at a heavy cost, I took way too many losses there. So we're going to be moving this infantry up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I have to check on jumping HQs and see how that works. All right, I believe I just move in and that jumps the HQ train, jumps the HQ, forcing them to move out. So I just have enough movement to get into there. That's the 10th movement point. And they're going to be, they're out of movement. So that's going to jump that HQ. All right, I did the retreat for the HQ and flipped the combat train way up here. Retreated the HQ3 this way, put a coordination marker, but then I moved the next unit of the 111th Panzer Brigade up. This battalion moves up next to the 53rd Battalion of the CCA here. Now they do have some terrain in that hex, so they're going to move up and attempt some combat on that hex. That's 12 movement points to get up there. The question is, can I do that with one objective marker? Is that going to work? Okay, the blue chips represent the engagement zone, so for the objective, the objective zone, so I'm not within the objective zone. I cannot do certain attacks here, and that's probably going to force me to do an engagement, which of course is probably not the best one to use. And actually, I don't think I can there, so I think I have to do something else. I think I have to do regular combat. Yeah, shoot, I can't do any sort of attack there. I need an objective. That snafu killed me. You can't initiate... I can't do an engagement because that's not an enemy AV. That sucks. So it looks like the best I can do is probably just move units up to maybe try to isolate. Maybe try to isolate this. Let's see what else we've got here. I'm going to have to move the HQ regardless. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the best I'm going to do there. And I do have to be careful because I have to watch out for that tricky guy on that side. He's going to be... I have to watch out that he doesn't try something sneaky. I do have to block him somehow. Then that would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would give me better trains if I leave him back there. This guy's just kind of sitting out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm just going to keep that unit right there. Just in case, well, that is a powerful unit that we're looking at over here. That's a 5 action rating unit. That's going to be a major issue. Now I'm wondering, he's right within range of my combat trains now. Watching my right flank now. Swoop down and cause a major amount of problems. I might have to pull these guys back. All right, I'll move the combat train up a few hexes and flip it to its ghost side. There's a supply hex for this scenario. I can use a track if it's between the HQ and, what does it say? Between the HQ and the combat train inclusive. This is a really crappy part of the map. I'm like stuck on all these muddy tracks. Okay. Not the best turn that I wanted. I was kind of really hoping to get an attack up here, but I had to place the objective where I could, so At least I took one of the objective hexes, and I should be able to hold it. But this is not. Yeah, that's gonna be. So for the Americans, they're when they are going. Obviously, this formation's done. The Americans, I'm going to random chit draw, and hope that I do not get the A. I'm hoping that I pull this one. But then they're going to move on this probably. If I get A, this is going to be coming into play. This is a screening unit. But you can bet if I get A, this one's going to be coming into play, and then this one's going to be coming. There's going to be some sort of a pressure counterattack type thing going on. It's not going to be pretty, so we'll see. All right. All right, thanks for watching. I'll get this video up, and I'll let you know how the rest of this goes.